If you live anywhere in Canada and watch television on a regular basis, chances are you've seen a heck of a lot of ads that look very similar to these.
No way to start off a cast, but we begin tonight with a goodbye.
If cable and satellite companies don't pay their fair share for local TV, many channels across Canada will be forced to close. Your city or town could lose its local news, and support for community organizations would disappear. You only have until November 2nd to write in. Tell the CRTC you support local TV. To make a difference, go to localtvmatters.ca. Most Canadians pay about $47 a month for cable. Of that, about $13 goes to specialty channels, and cable pockets the rest. Cable keeps 70% of your money, their charge for delivering the programs you watch. No wonder they made more than $2 billion profit last year. And now they want to charge a cable tax to pay for local TV. We need to get control of runaway cable bills. Let's regulate their fees and make them pay their fair share for local TV. To make a difference, go to localtvmatters.ca.
Sir, how do you feel about the big TV networks like CTV and Global insisting that the CRTC impose a TV tax on us all of up to $10 a month to pay for local TV?
Come on, are you kidding me? $10?
Oh, no way.
Doesn't make any sense.
They're already getting support, right?
Yeah.
How do you feel about them wanting more?
It's pretty selfish and kind of sneaky.
I think it's disgusting.
I don't think so.
Come on, Canada. Enough is enough. Go to stopthetvtax.ca and have your say.
Psst. Have you heard what Canada's big TV networks want to do to your cable or satellite bill? They call it a fee for carriage. But what does it really mean for you? It means you're getting taxed once again. Let's take a look at the facts. The big networks say their TV tax won't hurt a bit, but this is no small fee. For most cable and satellite subscribers, it will cost you an additional $5 to $10 per month every month. The big networks are saying this new CRTC TV tax will save local television. But how do we know? They won't guarantee that they will use it to support local TV stations. They might just use it to pad their big operating profits, which amounted to $400 million last year alone. What's worse, they also refuse to guarantee that this fee will not increase in the future.
Unfortunately, if you also happen to live in rural Canada, then you're probably quite familiar with scenes similar to this.
Good evening. I'm Monica Truffin, News Director here at CKX TV. Many of you probably heard this is our last cast. Just yesterday, Blue Point Investment pulled out of its offer to purchase CKX, and it has been decided that CKX TV will close its doors after this evening's news.
Good evening and welcome to a very special CHCA News broadcast. We have a special hour filled with a bittersweet look back at the past 50 years of this station through its evolution and changes, highs and lows, and of course the major local events. But before we get to that, let's start with what we've been doing for the past half century and bring you the news of the day from central Alberta for one last time.
It's really the ultimate in hypocrisy. Companies such as Canwest Global Communications and CTV Globe Media claim to have a revenue problem, yet they buy pricey American programming and set up cable specialty channels, all while turning around and closing down local newsrooms. Canada's big networks want you to support them as they try to extort money out of cable and satellite operators across this nation. They claim that conventional television is a loss leader, and without this proposed fee for carriage, local stations are going to come apart at the seams. But I think it's time we take a look at what the big networks are actually contributing to Canadian television and communities across this country. CTV and Canwest own a vast majority of all the private television stations in this country. Local channels have almost no say in the programming they get to air or when they get to air it. Conventional television has been experiencing a decline in Canada for a number of years. This is not something that has blindsided Canada's private broadcasters. They had plenty of time to try to fix their business models, yet they opted to do absolutely nothing. Cable companies are already contributing to local television stations. Cable companies pay into something called the LPIF, the Local Programming Improvement Fund. This surcharge was established so that Canadian broadcasters could produce more domestic content. Yet, instead, the networks opted to buy yet more American shows. Simultaneous substitution is another way cable companies are helping out local channels. It allows the Canadian version of an American show to be substituted over top of the American feed of the channel while the two stations are showing the same program. This increases the ad revenue that Canadian television stations receive, and should help boost their bottom lines. Finally, CTV and Canwest produce an absolute minimum of Canadian content. Primetime on any one of these networks consists largely of purchased and re-aired American content. These American shows do nothing to support Canadian talent or employees, and while entertaining, they have no business on networks that are supposed to be helping to promote Canadian content. These disagreements have sparked a full-on media war, with cable and satellite distributors on one side of the equation, broadcasters and Canada's media corporations on the other, and consumers caught, as always, in the middle. For weeks now, we've been seeing television ads promoting one side or the other side of the story. Propaganda websites have been established as front lines for this media war. And lately, we've been seeing full-page, full-color ads promoting the broadcaster's side of the story. I thought these guys were supposed to have a bit of a money crisis or something. CTV and Canwest say that without this fee for carriage, their networks are going to crumble and fall. But is that really such a bad thing? As it stands, aside from local news, these stations contribute almost nothing to the communities they're in. We all know that local news can be received in a variety of other methods, including the internet, newspapers, and radio. In terms of entertainment programming, almost all of the content seen on CTV and global affiliates can be had on American border stations, which can be received over the air with an antenna or on basic cable and satellite packages. Furthermore, if CTV and Global were to crumble, it would create new space in the marketplace for brand new networks to be established, which might actually care about the communities they're in and Canadian content. For iNet, this is Christopher reporting.